Welcome back to another episode of the Bench Mob Ent podcast, the best sports podcast in New Jersey. We got a special guest on today, actor, musician, man of many talents, Jay Surles in the building. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, just blessed. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to bring me onto this podcast. And yeah, let's talk. Let's just vibe. Let's just have a good time.
Most definitely, we appreciate you hopping on, taking time out your schedule. Before we get into that, little house rules. Make sure y'all subscribe, share, comment, tell any and everybody about this so the algorithm can push it out to the masses because we're trying to be here for a good time and a long time. Getting into it, starting off, right? When did you actually know you wanted to be in the arts?
Man, that's a grip ago. So I graduated high school in 2018, and I started acting my freshman year, but like I wasn't really taking it serious because like I I had hoop dreams. I wanted to go to the NBA, but I'm only 5'8". I was not going to the NBA. So freshman year, I like, you know how like in school, like they just throw you in random classes and stuff. They threw me into acting, and I was with my friends and everything. I was with like the upperclassmen and everything, and I thought it was dope. I thought it was just super fun. And then I realized I was like, damn, I'm kind of like good at this, like, but I wasn't really thinking like about the bigger picture. So my junior year comes, and I got back into acting because I really enjoyed it. And we did this thing, and I think it was acting 2 I was in. It's where you do like this children type play and stuff, and then you go to like different schools and everything, and then you do like my daughter's tripping. Aaliyah, come here. So you go to like different schools, you go to different schools and stuff like elementaries, and then you like perform. And then I was traveling and everything, and then I was like, Aaliyah, yo, you were over here tripping on the podcast. Everything, loved it. And I was just like, yo, I think this is actually really what I want to do. Like the kids loved me. It felt like I had my own fan base and everything. And then like I was just like the traveling and everything because you get to like go to different places, meet different people and everything. And I was just like, yeah, I think acting might be the dream. So then that's when I actually started taking it serious. And I was just like, yeah, I think I was meant to, bless this earth with acting.
That's fire, and that's dope that you came to that realization because I know it's a lot of people. I was a part of the group. The hoop dreams, wanted to play, be on the NBA, be on TV, but things came out differently. You actually embraced acting though and realized that's what your talent was, that's what your gift was, that's what you were placed on this earth to do. Once you realized that, who were some people that you looked up to? Who were some of your inspirations in that acting field?
I would definitely say I looked up to my acting teacher. Her name was Andrea. She was the one that like really pushed me and like believed in me because like once I got my hoop dreams broken, I was kind of in a place where I was like, then what am I going to do for the rest of my life? How am I going to, change my life, my family's life and everything? And like she had faith in me. You feel me? Because like when I first told people that I wanted to act, nobody took me serious. They laughed at me. But she like saw potential in me. She was like, yeah, you should do the school play. You should do this and that. So I really looked up to her. Like I'm still in contact with her to this day. Like she really was like the biggest inspiration towards like my acting career that really got me going. I'll definitely say another person that played a big inspiration was my boy, John Corbett. You're going to have a lovely time once you meet him on the podcast. He's my best friend to this day. And like, he says a lot of things that just like really get me thinking outside the box, and just his worth ethic alone. It really inspires me. And then obviously God definitely inspires me, his word and everything that he says to like motivate me to really leave a footprint on this earth that, I can connect with people, bring people to him while also sharing and enjoying the arts. And then of course my parents, they blessed me with, all the tools and necessities that I needed. They supported me throughout everything and stuff. So, I really did have like a lot of inspiration, like a little small inner circle, because I don't want to look up to too many people because you never know who you can trust nowadays. So I like kept it small, but yeah, it was definitely my parents, God, my best friend, John, and then my acting teacher. Really all played a part in the man that I am today.
I think that's dope too that you still are in contact with your teacher because a lot of people once they realize that and they feel like, oh, this is what I want to do, they get there and they forget the people that helped them along in that
Yeah.
process. That's really dope that you're still in contact with her, because a lot of people don't have that relationship. They could keep that going forward. And
Mm-hmm.
for you, right? So you did the things, you were going to different schools, seeing the kids. Some people were shooting down the dream of acting. For you, right? What moment and what point did you realize like, oh, I'm actually good at this? What was that specific moment that it triggered in your head like I can actually do this for a career?
So my senior year, like the whole drama collective, like every like senior year, the seniors have to do like some senior project that they present to the whole school. And I was kind of nervous because I was like, okay, like I really have to do good because it's like people are watching. It's like it was like my point in time to like prove everybody wrong and stuff and show them that I'm more than just, the laughing goofball stuff. Like I got dreams as well too. So I got my people together in my class, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do this scene. I think it's gonna be really powerful and stuff, and I think we could really, we could really do this thing." So we presented to the whole school. It's like an assembly. We presented to the whole school. I was nervous, but I felt like I killed it. But then I went backstage, and you know how like whenever you do something, you're like, I could have did this, I could have did that, I could have did that, and stuff. And then once the assembly was done, everybody was coming up to me saying, "Wow, Jay, like you're a really good actor." Like I was getting I was getting clout. It was crazy. I was like, "Dang, like everybody believe in me now." Like cause I was like, it's crazy when I say things and I'm like, "Yeah, I want to do this and this." You doubt me, but then when I actually show you, then it's like, okay, I see potential. I hate how that's how it works, but unfortunately, this is the world that we live in. So everybody was saying Jay's a phenomenal actor, this and that. Girls were coming at everything and stuff. And, obviously, I was in my head a little bit. I was like, yeah, but after I started, like, cause, I like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a glory hawk. I like the attention and stuff, but I'm humble about it though. I'm humble about it. And after that, I was just like, so this is what comes with it. But I was like, I had to humble myself and bring myself down to earth where it's like, you're not doing it just for that. You're doing it because you love it and you're doing it because you love the craft and telling stories and stuff. But like once I felt good about myself and it like, motivated me and stuff, I was like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. Because when I was doing sports and stuff, I wasn't getting all that. You feel me? Once I started doing acting, it felt natural, it felt comfortable. I was in my own habitat and I was like, yeah, this is it. Like this is what I need to do. I need to do acting. And that's when, that's why I was like, yeah, I think this is my calling. It's my calling.
So if you could share with us, what was the actual skit, the actual play that you did in front of the school? What was it exactly?
So I don't know if you're familiar with the Crucible. It's like with the
I've
Salem
heard of it.
witch trials and stuff.
I've heard it, yeah.
So what was it? I remember I read it during like my sophomore year or something like that. And then I really liked John Proctor's character. He was like the main character throughout the whole story. I liked his character. So I was like, all right, let me do this scene with my wife and then with Abigail, who he was having an affair with. So I got my two friends, my two girls, that phenomenal actresses. I got them to do it. And then we started rehearsing it and everything. Once I presented it, everybody knew the Crucible because it was like a requirement. Like you had to read that book in school. So I was thinking ahead of the game. I was like, yeah, they're gonna know this. And now that they can actually like, instead of just reading the play, they're actually gonna see the play on its feet. And then everybody enjoyed it. And I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I like that. Originally, I was gonna do something else. I think I was gonna do like something. I think I was gonna do like Midsummer's Night Dream or something like that. But I was like, nah, I don't want to do something comedic. I want to do something serious so people know that I'm not just a jokester. Like I can be serious when I have to be. So the Crucible, everybody just loved that, and I still have love for the Crucible to this day. But yeah, that's the one that really like got the wheels going my senior year towards graduation and everything.
So it's interesting that you just mentioned that you don't want to be viewed as just the comedian type of actor. I've heard many of actors speak of not being put into a box. They want to be able to have the range to do a
Yeah.
comedy, a drama, a suspense, horror. For you in your career, what spaces do you want to be in regarding acting? Do you want to do comedy? Do you want to do suspense and horror? Is there any specific spaces you want to get into? Because you just mentioned, essentially, you're not looking to be in a box in your career. You wasn't looking to be in a box when you started off.
I definitely, because I've done pretty much um every single genre except horror. I definitely do want to do horror. That's like one of my like big things that I want to do. But I want to do serious horror because now everybody does comedic horror. I don't really like comedic horror. I kind of like suspenseful because it gets everybody's attention. I definitely want to do that. But I kind of don't want to be like you were saying. I don't want to be in a box. I don't want to be like a Ryan Reynolds where it's like he can only do like comedic movies. Like you can't see him doing serious things, or like Denzel, like he only does serious roles. He can't do comedic. I want to be able to be versatile, like Will Smith. He could do comedic, he could do serious, he can do horror and all that stuff. So I want to like really, of course, I'll find my craft where it's like, okay, I really thrive in, for example, like I really thrive in being like the fun, cool, laid back type of guy that's always the life of the party. That's like the roles that people always book me for because just my energy alone and stuff. But I also want to be able to do the exact opposite. Um, and I think that really will cement, not even just me, other actors and actresses that can like, like show the world that, through this art, I can do more than just what you see me as and see me doing. And I think that's really like why people get such like a love for the art because it's like you can do more things, like my favorite Bible quote, you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. So I know that, if I don't stay confined in the box that the world tries to put me in, then, the sky's the limit.
I think that's an important mindset to have with that because, like you said, you don't want to be confined in that box.
Yeah.
And knowing that with God, you could do all things. So, whatever role you end up in, I just got to tap in with God, and that's how I'm gonna be able to get the role done. So far for you, what has been like the hardest role that you've had to play?
Ooh. I would definitely say, and this was in 2023, the hardest role I had to play. I don't know if you're familiar with Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Chadwick Boseman starred in it, and I did it on stage, and I was actually Chadwick's role. I played Levy. That by far was the hardest role I ever had to play, and because one, it was my first time being the villain of a story because usually I'm like the middleman, the guy that mediates everything, or I'm the good guy. It was my first time being the villain, so I had really had to be like a jerk, and plus I didn't feel comfortable because he blasphemed God a lot just from what happened with his life and everything. And I remember I had a talk with my director, Daryl Thompson, phenomenal actor, phenomenal singer, and a good director. He told me that that's what's holding me back is that you're scared to portray this character and be this character. And he was basically saying that God knows your heart. God knows that you would never do this to him. But in this like space, you have to be this character. This is like the role and everything. Like obviously, that's not who you are, but you're just portraying a character. You're showing the art that there are people out there like this that have an awful time in life and everything, and they blame God for everything. So it's basically giving those people a voice and then showing them at the end that where it's like, like it's not all God. Like God has a plan for you. Like he gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. And it's like as long as you confide in him, things will get better. You just gotta trust his process and everything. And that's what really like, it got me thinking, and I was like, okay, I get it now. And that's how I was able to really dive deep more into that character. Like there was this one monologue I had to do where he talked about what happened with his family. Like his mom got, there was these white men that came in and they did things to her. I'm not going to say that word on the podcast. They did things to her, and he witnessed that. And then he tried to protect his mom, but eventually that ended up him getting hurt with the knife and stuff. So like him seeing that and everything, and then his dad wasn't there because his dad was away working, and then eventually his dad got revenge on them. But then in the end, he unfortunately got, you know what I mean. So it was like he really blamed, like he grew up and he was like, if there's a God, why did this happen to me? God, he's loving me and everything. This shouldn't happen to me and stuff. So it's just seeing that whole like character arc in him. Like he comes off, you first meet him, he's cool, but he's a little bit of a jerk and everything. But then actually, once you start to see what Levy went through and like how he is as a person, how he carries himself, it just like all just blows up in his face, and eventually in the end, it leads to him, offing somebody, and it's just crazy. Like I will say, I did have a lot of fun with that character, but it was the most difficult like character I've ever had to play in my life. It was like, and it definitely taught me things too. It taught me like like this is why I love it. Like there's things that I can do that I never knew I could do, and that's the love of the art, man. That's the love for it.
Yeah, Jocelyn mentioned that too when she was talking about the importance and the value in being stretched as an actor to do
Mm-hmm.
those roles that make you like have to do introspection. Like, all right, how can I actually embody this character? With you
Yeah.
mentioning that you have a faith and a reverence for God, I always find it interesting, and I always like to ask actors, being that you have this faith and reverence for God, going into this field, are there certain roles that you say, I just won't do?
Yeah, I will say yes. They're definitely, because as actors, a lot of the times actors don't realize that they have the power to say no. It's just some actors are money oriented and so they kind of get conceited. Me, I know like my number one rule that I would never take a role like you know like if it comes to like certain things like a character saying oh I blame God for this and everything and stuff, I can take that because even as Christians, when we're human, sometimes we do blame God and everything and stuff. We're human, but it's like we calm down, we come back to earth and humble ourselves and be like, nah, this is just God's time and I have to trust in him. The one thing I would never do if a role requires me to worship Satan, I would never do that. I don't care if it's the director saying, "Oh, it doesn't mean." No, I will never do that. Those words will never come out my mouth. Like that's the main thing, and I think most Christians should agree with me on that. Um, I don't care what role it is. I have a tolerance when it comes for evil. Like I don't play with that. That's the one thing that I will not do if it comes to anything evil or worshiping the enemy or like that. If it comes to just having an inner conflict with yourself and the Lord, that's different because most people actually do go through that. Even Jesus went through that when it was time for him to sacrifice himself. But when it comes to like there's like a certain character that worships the opposite of that, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I completely get that. I know certain things, like I say, with the podcast, certain things I just won't do, certain guests I won't have on.
Mm-hmm.
You got 200 million followers. I can't do it. I gotta answer to God regardless. Like something
Yeah.
that was said for me in church today, somebody said this and it just really just like hit different. He was like, we're having an audience of one. I was like, oh, that's right. No matter what we do, it's really an audience of one. Obviously, hundreds and millions of people can see what you're doing, but it's really an audience of one because we're supposed to be doing it for him, regardless in whatever field we're doing, judge, actor, lawyer, whatever field you in, it's supposed to be towards God. In this industry, if there is one thing though that you could change about the industry, what would it be?
I would say the one thing I would have to say about the industry I would change is that it's just being humble, man. Because there's a lot of these actors where it's like, like I don't like the Oscars anymore because a lot of them they don't even like say I want to give thanks to God anymore, and it's just crazy to me because it's like a lot of these actors when they're first starting out they're saying I believe in God, all this and stuff, the scriptures and everything, but then once they actually get the fame, they forget where it came from above, and it's like they don't really humble themselves once they actually achieve the fame and everything. So I would definitely change bringing God first in the industry. And it's like, that's what I truly think, because it's like God created the arts. It's in the Bible and everything, like the angels and everything. Like they created the arts. So it comes from him. And he just blessed us with the arts to be able to share with the world, our talents and everything, but also realizing that it comes from him. So I definitely would want to change, just being humble and bringing back God first and then everything else after. I think that's the problem with Hollywood, because Hollywood is very evil. And it's like, once you get to that point, that's where like everything changes, and that really shapes out who you will be as an actor and as a human being. And I do think, I always pray that, when I do get to that point, that God shields me and protects me from that, and I'm able to, stand up for myself and realize, okay, I can't take this role. I don't care about the money and everything, but it's not what God is telling me to do. So I'll go do, like, there's been times that I've turned down roles that, required me to fly out, but it was just, it wasn't God fearing. So I went and did something for free, but that was God fearing. And what was it? Yeah, that's definitely one thing that I really do think the industry needs. Is a good humbling from God, in my opinion. That's what I truly think, and I would love to change that.
Hey, that's a lot of industries that need that humbling and
Mm-hmm.
the forget where it's at in the Bible, but God says, I think maybe it was to Israel, probably was to Israel, knowing how much they be jacking up, and we be doing that too as people now in 2025. You
Mm-hmm.
forgot your first love.
Yep.
You forgot your first love. A lot of people, once they get to that certain level, they start boasting in them. Yo, I got here. It was all my hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Even with that, even if you have a great work ethic, God's giving you the ability to have that work ethic, to not get
Exactly.
tired. So we often in all fields forget our first love. Within this field for you, right? How do you define success?
Success to me, I think success is when everybody around you is thriving and not just yourself. And it's like me, I've gotten to this point. I have a beautiful daughter. Um, I'm in a situationship with her mom, but I still love that girl more than anything. I find success when they're able to, you know, relax, stress free and everything, and they're able to, enjoy the gifts and the aftermaths of what God has given us. And it's like, my dream is to, not even just, bless myself, but I want to bless, like, my mom, my family, my girl's family, the baby and everything. Like, that's what I think success truly is when you're able to use your success to help others. And I truly think that's one thing that God, truly blessed me to do with this talent, so I can help others. And it's not even just me. I think that's what I think a lot of people in this world should do. Like, use your success to help others and let them be just as successful as you, if not even greater. And it's like, I think it's kind of selfish where it's like you see all these millionaires have all this money, all this success, but they're just doing it to fill their pockets, and they're not helping the needy. They're not helping, their families and people who actually need it. And it's like, I think if this world has more love and we share that success, then the world could be a better place. And I define success when you see others thriving around you and not just yourself. And that really puts a smile on my face. Like, when every time, like, I made a promise to my boy, like, every time, like, I get a gig or I meet somebody, I always bring his name up, like, for music and everything. Same with the podcast, where we all eat. And that's where I find success, where we all eat and we all can achieve this dream together and walk down that same path. That's what I find. I think success is when everybody thrives, everybody at the table eats. And that's what I think success is.
Think that's very key and very important. That's blessed to be a blessing. What we go through, testing trials, when we get blessed is not even for, it's never really honestly for us. You
Mm-hmm.
might want $1 million, but that $1 million I'm giving you is to pay your bills, to take care of your family, to help this person out that's in need. That's why the main reason I'm blessing you. Like, I gave my son to bless the world. Like, I gave my
Yeah.
only son to
Mm-hmm.
give to the world. We should be following the same example. We should be. That often doesn't happen, but
Uh,
that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother day. What keeps you motivated?
Ooh, that's a that's a good question. I would say now, before what used to keep me motivated, it was just the fear of failure, because it was like I was like I can't me like my mom's always said it. She can't see me doing a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life because she said just the type of person I am and my track record. She's like I can't see you doing a 9 to 5. You have to be an actor. And like that's why she would always pray that the Lord bless me with new opportunities every day and stuff. So it used to be the fear of being a failure, but now it's like the fear of it's two things: the fear of my family and my generations and stuff, the fear of them having to work their butts off every single day and not be able to accomplish their dreams and stuff just because you know, I was lazy and I didn't do what I had to do on this earth that God has allowed me to do. It's that. And now that I have another life that I have to take care of, and she's watching everything that I do, how I carry myself as a man, as a human being, as a Christian. Now it's like, I have to, you know, be successful to take care of her so she can realize, okay, my daddy worked for all of this stuff. He put in the work. He believed in God. He helped others. That's what I want to do. And it's because she's got some spunk to her, so I got to humble her so she knows, like, it's not all about you and stuff. Yeah, I know. So it's not all about you and everything. So now it's the fear of, I just want her to be proud of me and see how far I've come in this journey. And it's still, and there's a lot of people that also have this as well too. It's definitely still the fear of like failure, because it's like, people are scared of like failing. But then I've also come to the realization where it's like we're all gonna fail, but I don't see failure as a failure. I see it as a lesson. And I see it as a lesson to, learn from my mistakes so I can carry that. And it's like you're gonna have a lot of L's before you find success. And Denzel Washington said it best: if you sit long enough in the barbershop, you're bound to get a haircut. So that's definitely, that's what keeps me motivated. God, my daughter, and just, I don't want to keep, failing and everything. Even though I am gonna keep failing, that's just a battle I have to win it myself. But that's just a little on the surface that most actors think.
So for you being in the business, you might have said it within that answer right there. But has been the best piece of advice that you've received?
The best piece of advice, it was back when I was in college at Rowan University before I dropped out. I think it was my sophomore year. I was in an acting class, and my teacher's name was Michael. I can't remember his last name, but he was a good acting teacher. He taught me a lot of things. And we were going around telling stories and stuff. And I told them the story how when I first met Jocelyn, we did a show together in Newark with NJ Pack with Savion Glover. He was the director. And when I auditioned, I first was the understudy. But then, after, I had to talk with my boy because I was ready to quit. I was crying and everything, saying, I worked hard. I'm sacrificing everything. I'm going to and from North Jersey and South Jersey and everything. And I'm just the understudy. And he said, don't you quit. He said, if you ever quit, I'll be super disappointed in you. So it changed my whole perspective. I said, you know what? I'm going to make the best out of this. I'm here to learn something. I'm going to be able to do things with myself and everything. So this is what I'm going to do. And then eventually he started seeing my hard work, because I was just doing it. I wasn't even doing it to just, yeah, I'm going to prove that I deserve to be the lead. I wasn't doing all that. Like, I was showing up early, leaving late, learning the songs and stuff. I was just doing it for the love of acting. And that's my job as an understudy. Like, I have to put in work because God forbid something happens to the lead, everybody's relying on me. And then eventually he saw that hard work and he just switched us. He switched me to the main lead. And I told him, I was like, honest to God, I was not doing this to prove a point. I was doing this because I love acting and it is my job to do this. And he said, that's why I switched you guys, because, you're working harder than him. He was talented. He can sing. What was it? I'm not gonna, down talk him and everything about what, our weaknesses is and everything. But he was super talented. That man, his name was Amari Key. That man is the most talented singer that I've ever met in this world. I lie to you not. That man is Chris Brown, literally. Um, but the best advice that my acting teacher, after I told him that story, he said, it's not about now in this age, it's not about talent. It's about who shows up and puts in the work. And that stuck with me to this day. As long as you put in the work, it doesn't matter if somebody's a better singer than you, a better dancer than you, a better actor, whatever it is that you want to do in your life. If you show up and put in the work, people will notice and you will get rewarded for it. And that still happens to me to this day. And that was like the best advice that I've ever gotten, not even just as an actor, as a human being. And that stuck with me. And I still to this day live off that quote. I love that quote.
I have it tattooed on me. Hard work beats talent when talent fails to
Talent
work
fails to
hard.
work hard. Yep.
Put in the work, the cream of the crop always rises. And ultimately, again, you doing it to God. God sees it, and God provides the opportunity when He sees fit. Something you mentioned in there, right? Because we know it's a lot of very smart people, wealthy people, people in prominent positions that decided college was not the route for them. What was the thought process for you deciding, all right, I did 1 year at Rowan and said, you know what, I'm not going to do it any further?
So originally I went to Rutgers Camden. I did a lot of I did a Frankenstein play. I did a Michael Jackson versus Prince concert, and it was good. But then I was like, that college alone, it wasn't really like competitive. It wasn't really focusing on how to be a versatile actor. So that's when I switched to Rowan. I auditioned. Originally, I didn't get in, but I don't give up. So I auditioned the next year, and then I finally got in after I did NJ Pack and got better and stuff. So I started doing all that and everything, and I was loving it. Like I was learning different things, meeting new people. Then COVID hit, 2020. Man, like those virtual classes, I just couldn't get with it, man. I could not get with it. It felt different and everything. And I was just sitting there, and then I was like, that's when I first was, getting into a serious relationship with my girl. And it was just like I felt college was like distracting me from like actually enjoying life and getting roles, because there was roles that I had to turn down because I had class and I couldn't commit to it. And I had to turn down hanging out with my girlfriend, spending time with my family, and even me time, just because it was like you had class, you got homework, you got to worry about this and this, that, student loans, everything. So I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I just dropped out of my classes, and thank goodness, because usually when you drop out, you still have a balance left. But because of COVID, there's like a grace thing where it was like, we understand if you drop out because of COVID. So thank the Lord for that. So I was able to, not have a balance and still be in more debt than I already was. So I was able to drop out and everything. And once I dropped out, that's when I started being able to do roles more often. I could have more of my time, practice my craft and everything. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with college. I still think about going back to this day, potentially, maybe. I don't know yet. But there's definitely nothing wrong with college. I think, people who commit themselves to college, I respect that, because it's like that's a huge commitment to go to college, do these classes, and then graduate in 4 years on time. Yes, 4 years on time and everything. But to me, I just think college, a piece of paper, it's not guaranteed anything. Like obviously, once if you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer, yes, you need that piece of paper. But like for the arts, you don't need that piece of paper. Like I could easily, and I'm living proof of this. While I was in college, I was getting booked for roles over people that actually have that piece of paper that went to college for 4 years to study acting. It don't mean nothing. It's about who shows up, who puts in the hard work, and can you portray the character that I envision? If you can do that, whether you have a piece of paper or not, you're going to get booked regardless. That's just how I think. Again, there's nothing wrong with college. It's just not for everybody. And I think a lot of people have to understand that, because you'll meet people where it's like even to this day, my grandparents, oh, I believe in college. You got to go. Why did you drop out? Blah, blah, this and that. And then, I told them to talk and everything. They were mad at me at first, but then they understood. They were like, at the end of the day, we love you. You're our grandkid, and that's the path. And, obviously I proved them wrong because I'm still doing it and I'm still being successful in my craft. But it's just, I think a lot of the people that downplay the people that don't go to college or drop out of college, I don't think that's right, because college is a choice. It's not a necessity. And it's like, depending on what you want to do. So I do think in the college aspect, there does need to be a humbling as well in the industry. But there's nothing wrong with dropping out of college and not going to college. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, do what you think is best for you. Like, at the end of the day, it's your life. You only get one life. Like, who cares what other people think? If you don't want to go to college, don't go to college. Accomplish your dreams. And I stand on that.
I agree because I've said it all the time. If you operating on me, I want to see that. I want to see that degree on the wall. If
Mm-hmm.
you if you cutting me open, I want to see that degree on the wall. If you are my lawyer and I'm trying to get off of a crime,
Oh heck yeah!
I want to see that degree on the wall.
I want 4 years, 5 years plus at that.
Certain things, yes, I want to see that paper. Certain areas, I
Mhm.
want to see that paper on the wall. In other aspects, more cases than not, that's to get like the technical stuff down. And I've heard some actually, and specifically in acting, say that sometimes going that route, depending on where you go, depending on the teachers, it actually sometimes takes away the creativity of an
Yes,
actor.
yes,
So, like you said, it's really up to you, and you have to find the right situation for you. And to your point of the learning styles, a lot of people was not fans of the COVID learning that they had to do with the virtual classes.
hmm
If you went acting, I could envision. I've never took any action classes, but to have that do that virtual, I'm pretty sure it's a completely different experience versus in person and interacting with people and seeing their facial expressions in person, laughing, things of that nature, getting direct input from the teacher. So I completely get that. We're gonna go into our fourth quarter segment, some of the more fun questions.
yeah.
Everybody that's a guest on the show knows I love to eat food. I eat for four. It may not look like it, but I eat for four. I gotta ask, what is your favorite restaurant?
I have to go with Red Lobster. They are expensive. Yes, they are. They are expensive. But yo, them cheddar cheese biscuits, boy, come on, stop playing with me. Them things be hitting. And the thing is, I be getting mad at myself because when they bring that basket and then the meal comes, you already full off the bread. And I'm just like, them things be hitting crazy. But that me, I love seafood and I love lobster. Like I get my go-to every time. I get pasta, garlic shrimp, and I get the lobster, and then they get like the little butter thing, and then I just pour that joint all over there. I love Red Lobster. Like I can eat like when I retire, I'm probably gonna be eating there every day. Like I'm gonna try not to, but it's just like yeah, like I agree with you. I love food. I love sweets. I unfortunately love junk food. I've been trying to dial back into it. It's been a little rough. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just like everybody knows me as the snack person, man. I always got like a bag of chips, a bag of candy, or something like that. But it's just like, yo, like I could talk about food for days. I feel you on that. Like, what was it? Like, I gained a couple pounds because of food. Like, I used to be like when I was in high school, I was like 120 and something. But after my daughter came and everything, and I just started eating more, I went up to 150. Like, I gained 30 pounds, and I was like, all right, let me calm down because the gut's showing. Let me hit the gym and everything now. But I'm with you on that, my boy. I love food and snacks, man. It's crazy.
Hey, like you said, I can talk about food all day. I might legit. I've been talking to some people. I might legit have to have like once a month a food episode talking about something about food. You feel me? I'm not on the Keith Lee level to be going to do food reviews unless people want to give out free food. But I can't afford to
Facts.
be going to multiple restaurants
Yeah, nah, I can't,
trying
man.
food. Talking about yeah, I spent $100 today. Let's see what we got. It's me, my wife. I got two kids under two. Nah, I can't be talking about
And
spending
then,
$100 just to taste the food and it might not be good. Nah, bro, I can't. I
that's
can't do
risky.
that one. Super risky. You mentioned earlier, and this wasn't on the list of questions, but I want to ask. You mentioned earlier that you was in a Prince versus Michael Jackson play. Who do you have higher on your list, Prince or MJ?
So originally they wanted me to play Prince. And I was like, I cannot sing that high. And I'm not going to disrespect Prince like that. Trust me. I'm not like, I can sing in the booth, but I ain't no Prince level. So they hired this one. So the girl that I forgot her name, she was choreographing me on how to like dance like Prince and everything. But I talked to the director. I was like, yo, I can't like be Prince. And then the singing teacher, she was like, have him be Morris Day because technically Morris Day is involved in that because Prince discovered Morris Day in the time. And they were like, and then the director was like, you don't got Morris Day's charisma. And I said, bet. I love a challenge. And I said, bet. Let me be Morris Day and I promise people are going to love me. He said, bet. Get into character, do what you got to do, learn the songs, sing the songs. If you like it, I'll make you be Morris Day. Bet. Worked hard, learned all his choreography and everything and all that stuff. Once I auditioned again for Morris Day and everything, he was like, okay, you can be Morris Day. Like he was that stone cold teacher where he won't admit where he's wrong. He'll just be like, okay, you can be Morris Day, and then he'll just walk off. So they had me as Morris Day. For young Michael Jackson, they had my friend at the time. His name was CJ, phenomenal dancer. They had him with the afro and everything. The choreographer that was teaching me when I was supposed to be Prince, she ended up being Prince. But the thing is, she couldn't sing. So what she did, unfortunately, she had to ad lib and just had Prince in the background just doing everything. But people loved it. They didn't care because, at the end of the day, we're here for the band. Technically, they're here for the band to hear the music and everything. And then we hired somebody to be Michael Jackson once, he got his skin bleached and everything. His name was Buddy. He was known as a professional impersonator. At the audition, let me tell you something. This man literally came dressed like Michael Jackson. Like, it was crazy. He had the glove, the hat, and everything. He was doing the dances, the splits, the hee-hee. I said, yeah, he's about to get hired. And then they hired him, but they had to pay him too because he technically was a professional impersonator and everything. And he killed it. He didn't sing, but like he was just there to like be the mascot while the choir was actually like singing the songs and stuff. So we kind of, ghettoly worked our way in there just a little bit and everything. But, at the end of the day, people loved it. We killed it. It was crazy. When we did it again the second time, it didn't hit the same because everybody said no because they didn't like the director who did it. Unfortunately, I got convinced to do it, but people still loved it because they love Morris Day and everything and all that stuff. But I will say that was probably the greatest like musical / acting thing that I've ever did in my life. It was crazy. I learned so many songs I didn't know about Michael Jackson and Prince. I learned about Morris Day because I had no idea who Morris Day was until I did that. And it was just crazy. I learned so many things. Singing techniques, dancing techniques, met beautiful people, instruments, how everything works. And it was just like, it was just a full circle moment. I was just like, and this is why I love acting. Because when one door opens, another one opens. I learned about music. I learned about dancing, singing, acting, directing. And it was just crazy. That was like the greatest experience I ever had in my life to this day.
So if you had to choose, right, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh, man.
More your favorite, if you had to choose. I'm not even going to say who's the better person anymore. Your favorite between the two, MJ or Prince, who would be your favorite?
Oh, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. So first, I'm going to say two things. One, Michael Jackson is a phenomenal singer, but I think he's a better entertainer and performer. Because it's like he's making females pass out and he's not even doing anything. Prince is an artist. He can play instruments. He can sing. He writes his own music, discovers bands and everything. So if I had to choose, I'm not going to lie. I've been feeling Prince more recently. I'm not going to lie. I might have to choose Prince over Michael Jackson because, like, I just be jamming his songs now. There's a whole bunch of songs I didn't know about. Like, MJ, that's my boy. Don't get me wrong. That's my boy. To this day, my favorite song by MJ is Bad. I love that song. It makes me feel bad. But it's just something about Prince where it's just like the lyrics he says, he doesn't repeat a lot of like, the same chorus and just sings it different like Michael does. And he's an actual artist and stuff. Not saying Michael Jackson is an artist, but like he really dived deep into that, like learning instruments, discovering bands, making his own music and stuff. So I would definitely have to choose Prince. Guys, I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of MJ fans out there, but I'm going to have to go with Prince, man. I got to go with Prince. Like he's just, I don't know, man. It's just like I just love his vulnerability because like that man was going off with his, his masculinity and everything. And it's just like I gotta go with Prince, man. Prince is my boy, and I've been he's on my playlist recently. Like like when you go on like Spotify at the end of the year and it shows you like who you've been listening to more. Prince has been #1, and I didn't even know that. And it's just like I love Prince. I love Prince. Love Prince.
Hey, I'm intrigued to see our listeners and our viewers. What's your thoughts on that? I completely understand your breakdown now. Some people don't like when I say this. How you broke it down right there with the mic aspect, that's how I view Beyonce. People not going to like to hear that.
Yes.
But she's more of an entertainer than singer. Not saying she can't sing, not saying she sucks. But the entertaining aspect, that's why you 9 times out of 10 you coming to see her. Because if you paying $700 for that ticket to go sit in the nosebleeds,
you're going to be entertained.
You're going to see one of the greatest shows that you ever seen in your life. But I ain't going to ask her to sing at my wedding. That's not
no. That's why
Nah.
I can hire John Legend for that or something like that. I'm not having no John.
Yeah. Yeah, nah. If I need you to perform, we'll give you a call.
Yeah,
If I need
we'll be
somebody
in
to
touch.
actually if I need somebody to sing and blow, you further down on my list of people
Yeah.
that I'm gonna give a call to. For you, being in the industry, doing music, doing acting, right? Who are some people that come to mind for you that are underrated actors and underrated musicians that some people don't know about or they look over because they're not as big as the Beyoncés, the Denzel Washingtons of the world?
I'm gonna go musician first. I think, and he's been on my music rotation too. An underrated musician, and I don't think he gets enough love. It's Khalid. I don't know if you know him. He's a guy. He has been on my because I got put on to him by my friend a while back. I listened to Keep Me, and that song really like I cried listening to that because that thing was powerful and it was deep. And he has this new song on his album that's really stuck in my head. It's called Heat Stroke. Oh my god, I spam that thing like every single day. I love that song, and I'm just like, yo, like what? Like he's well known, but I think he needs to like there needs to be more respect on his name because he can sing, and it's just like I just love his music, man, and it's like it's always something different, and it's like now unfortunately he's getting backlash because his ex at the time confirmed that he was gay and everything, but I don't think it's right to just out that on somebody until like they're ready to do that themselves. So it's like he's in like a dark place now and everything and stuff, but that man is like the most underrated musician ever, and it's like he truly can sing. He's a good performer, and it's like not a lot of people show that man love, and it's like I can listen to Khalid all day. I love him. And an underrated actor, I would say, I don't know if you're familiar with Aaron Pierre. He played in Rebel Ridge. That it was a
That's Mufasa.
Yes, bro. He is so underrated, bro. And the thing is, he's supposed to be playing Green Lantern, and that was a perfect role for him. Yo, that man, I'm calling it right now. That man has potential to be better than Denzel. That man's beautiful at acting. I love his mannerisms, his facial expressions. He could play that serious role. You see him being goofy and too when he's like talking about the interviews and everything. I do hope he leans more so out of like the serious roles and he tries to do things differently, like maybe like a soap opera, comedy and stuff to really show his like versatile skill. I hope he's not just confined in those serious roles, but he is at still to me, he's a very underrated actor. Like he blew up and it's just like I still don't think he's getting the recognition that that man deserves. Like that man, because it's like you still got Denzel, you still got Chadwick is my favorite actor of all time. Rest in peace. I love that man, but it's like I wouldn't have been mad if that man was Black Panther. I could definitely see
Mm.
that too. But it's like, a lot of the actors, that's going on and everything, the Zendayas, the Tom Hollands, the Avengers, Marvel, DC, it's kind of like shadowing, those underappreciated and underrated actors and stuff. And I do truly think that this man has potential to be the next big thing. Oh, Michael B. Jordan. I totally forgot Michael B. Jordan is overshadowing a lot of people too. A lot of people are going to hate me for this. Michael B. Jordan is overrated. He's a good actor, not a great one. A lot of people might hate me for this, but he is a very overrated actor. Very overrated. But I will say his favorite role that I seen him do that was different was Killmonger and Chadwick and Black Panther. That was
Mhm.
different. But it's like all the roles that he does, they're kind of the same thing. So it's like I think he's overrated. A lot of people just like him for his looks. I think he's overrated. I got Aaron better than him. I'm sorry. Like y'all can backlash me all you want. I got Aaron Pierre over Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna stand on that too.
Rebel Ridge, when he was in that, absolutely bodied that role.
Yes. Yes.
Now on the Michael B. Jordan front, it's funny you said that. So I know somebody that works in the industry, right? I believe she helps with the writing and the producing on the back end. I was asking her, I'm like, you in the industry, we always share like, all right, what's good on TV right now, what's good in the movies, and we be going back and forth. So I asked her, we always had these conversations. I'm like, what you think about this actor? What you think about this actor? I said, what you think about Michael B. Jordan? She said the same thing. He kind of overrated. He kind of overrated.
And it's like I'm not saying that to be a hater. I think he's great. I think he does good work, but it's just I don't think he's like this great person that everyone perceives him as, like Michael B. Jordan's the next Denzel, this and that. I don't see it. I really don't, because it's like he does the same thing. Like he doesn't do anything that's like, yo, that role was really powerful. That had me thinking. I have yet to see that. Like I've yet to see that. And then plus, if you really want to backlash him, like me, I think the worst role he's ever done was when he played the Human Torch in that Fantastic Four movie. That was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even gonna hold you. That was super bad. But he's a good actor. He's not a great actor. He's a good actor. He's not a great actor. I do believe he did work hard. He has the look and everything. He's good at commercial work and everything. I just don't think he's, this actor that everybody perceives him as. I think he's just overrated. Like Aaron Pierre, like, he's doing great, phenomenal work. Like you can truly show that he, not saying Michael B. Jordan didn't study his craft, but you could truly see that. I definitely know he did theater. Michael B. Jordan didn't really do theater. He definitely did theater. He worked hard and everything and all that stuff. And I think Aaron, he truly, he has potential to get outside of that box. And I think he's perfectly rated, even though he's, to me, underrated. He's not overrated. He's not, he's perfectly rated / underrated. Michael B. Jordan is just, you see the same thing. Like he has a movie coming out, and it's basically the same thing as what he usually does. Like it does look good. Don't get me wrong. The story looks compelling. He's playing like a twin and then a twin brother or something. And the town is like corrupt, but it's like, it's kind of the same thing. Like you do the same thing. You feel me? And it's like, like, he's good, but I don't think he should be snubbing all these underrated actors that could potentially do the role a little bit better than he could potentially if they actually open the doors. And that's why I think a lot of, black upcoming actors kind of get overshadowed, because it's like if you could do like a killer audition. You see Michael B. Jordan coming in, they're grabbing him because they're gonna make him money because the world loves him. And like, don't get me wrong, he's a super down to earth guy. He's chilling and everything, but it's just like, I do think we need to kind of knock him a little bit down, a couple 2 pedestals, so we can make room for other actors. That's just me. That's just me.
Is Aaron Pierre? I've seen him and stuff, but I don't know his story. Is he one of the people from Britain that came over acting?
Britain? No,
Okay.
I don't think he is.
Okay, because I know it's a good 5, 6 of them in that pocket that came over here and are bodying roles left and right.
I'm glad that you said that. The man from Snowfall, Franklin. I forgot his name. I think. Oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
It's
I think it starts with what's his name?
Is it Idris?
Idris. It's Idris. Yeah, Idris. I don't remember his last name, but you know what I'm talking about. He came over. Yo, he's killing it. I don't know if you watch Supercell on Netflix.
Yeah.
All of them killing it. They came over from the UK, killing it, and it's just like, yo, them UK people, they can throw down. And me personally, I think they better than American actors, because it's like in the UK, that's all they have is the arts. That's all they have. In America, we have all these resources and stuff, and it's just like once we start acting, we get in over our head and everything. We forget about where we come from and our craft and everything, and then that's that. The UK, that's all they have. They have Shakespeare, theaters, all this stuff. That's all they have, and that's why these people are just phenomenal. Tom Holland, I don't think he's overrated. I think Tom Holland is actually underrated. He can do different roles. I actually do think that man is actually underrated. He's not a bad actor. Like I think, like when he did Nathan Drake, Spider-Man, and all these other different movies and stuff. Like I do think he's a very underrated actor. Zendaya's overrated. Zendaya is definitely overrated. I'm sorry. She does the same thing now. Definitely overrated. I'm sorry. But like, yeah, them British actors, they be giving us a run for their money. I'm not gonna lie. I competed with some of them in auditions and stuff. They got my heart racing. I'm not gonna lie. They were phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie. They phenomenal. They taught me stuff too. They're phenomenal.
For our listeners and viewers, we're talking about Damson Idris. His last name is Idris.
Yes.
Damson Idris, but the other guy that stars over Idris Elba. Like it's a list of them that be bodying roles, and I personally not in the craft, but I have such an honor and respect for the craft and the art. They really do be killing it out here, and a lot of them do such a great job too that when they come over here and they're in our movies and our TV shows, if you don't do the research, you don't know that they British. They able to just talk like we talking with no accent and turn it on whenever they want. Like I was watching something. I said, "Oh, I forgot Aegis was red as he turned it on." I said, "My boy, okay, I see you, my boy. I see you out there." They be turning it on and off in interviews, and yeah, let me just remind y'all, I'm from the UK. I'm back. That's my home, and I'm out here taking y'all jobs. We out here, we taking y'all jobs, man. So last one we got for you. If you could be in any movie, past or present, what movie would it be?
I'm such a fanboy. I gotta go with Black Panther, man. I have to. When I first saw that movie on Black History Month, man, that thing changed my life. I saw it like 4 or 5 times, and that's when I fell in love with Chadwick. But I originally saw Chadwick in school when I watched the movie 42 when he played Jackie Robinson. I wasn't really paying attention until like towards the end where I was like, yo, this actor's kind of great. But then I went about my day because you in high school, you don't really care. And then once I saw him, I was like, oh, this is him. And then I saw that, and then he had different other movies like 21 Bridges and everything. I was like, yo, like even if I was just a background extra in Black Panther, like I saw like all the behind the scenes, like they were having so much fun learning about the culture and everything, the dancing, the acting, the singing, the playlist and everything. Like it was such a cultural phenomenal movie, and I do think still to this day that movie's underrated because it's like the cast was primarily black, a black director, black composers and everything, and it got it did get overlooked. Like they got some awards and stuff, but I don't really think people appreciate it as much as the black community did, just because of what they were trying to tell. Like they're trying to show like the culture and like the arts truly did come from like black people and our ancestors and everything and stuff. So I would have loved to be in that movie, man. Like it just looked like a good time. I could have met Chadwick, could have been a fanboy. I love Chadwick to this day. But it was just a phenomenal movie, man. Just everything that they did a phenomenal job. And then, it's really sad that, like during that time, Chadwick, he had cancer and he was still acting, and nobody knew that until he passed away. And it was crazy. Like as an actor, like you're doing your own stunts, doing this with cancer, like that's phenomenal. Like that is crazy. And he was God fearing too. And it's just, I would have loved to be in that movie, meet everybody, talk about the culture aspect, like what led them to, do this direction and everything. To this day, like if I had a chance to be in that movie, I don't care what, even if you just got me getting waters for the actors, just to see it and everything. I don't care what position you had me doing. I would do anything just to be behind the scenes of that movie. Incredible, truly incredible.
Yeah, for sure. If you was able to be in that room, even like you said, just getting waters, it would have been so much
Mm-hmm.
knowledge and wisdom and wealth
Yes,
that you would have learned from all of these actors. Chadwick, Letitia Wright. I
yes.
mean, maybe not so much Michael B. Jordan based off of what you were saying, but
I
some
mean,
of the
no,
other names.
he did Killmonger good. He did him justice. He definitely did him justice. But yeah, like
Yeah, that was
it's
one of his roles I definitely liked because it's like that's one of the few times where you have somebody playing the villain and it
mm-hmm.
had you thinking like, yo, what he's saying actually.
Kind of makes sense.
I know I'm not supposed to root for this Joker, but
But it's like you can't blame him. You can't blame him. Like you can't. Like it was really because like yeah, I love Chadwick, but then I was just like as I was looking at both of their opinions about Wakanda and everything, I was like, if you really do think about it, it's like we have all these resources and we can make the world a better place, but we're choosing not to, especially knowing what's going on out there. So that's why I didn't agree with Chadwick. Like, yeah, he was being humble about it because he's like, if once we like go out there and show them this, people are gonna come after us for our resources and use it as weapons. I agree with that, but it's like you technically nobody's stopping you guys because Wakanda is like probably one of the greatest, countries in Marvel. So it will be hard to beat them. But it's like, you didn't try. Like you don't know, okay, if we give America these resources, maybe we can change the world. Like you didn't try anything. So that's why I agree with Killmonger. He went about it the wrong way when he was giving weapons to people, because that's just gonna start war. But it really had you thinking where it was like, I see both sides, but it's just like I don't know who to choose. It's like you really do see both sides, and I think that was an incredible thing that Ryan Coogler did to really get people thinking. Because like this is happening to this day. Like people are just like, I feel you on this, I feel you on this, and then that's why war happens. And it's like, all right, if we can't agree, we're gonna do war. Whoever wins, that's who wins. And it's just like you know, that's just a masterpiece, man. It's a masterpiece.
Definitely one of the greatest movies ever made. But y'all
Mm-hmm.
know the vibes here. We appreciate Jay hopping on with us. Y'all know the
Sir.
vibes here on the BME podcast. If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. Bench Mob, we out. Peace.
All right.